This video is all about gearboxes, drive belts and chassis. Gearboxes, drive belts and chassis. Oh my. Gearboxes, drive belts and chassis. Oh my. First order of business for the day, reassemble that front differential. Let's crack on. Alright guys, we're about ready to reassemble the front diff assembly for the Kyosho Alpha Lazer. So without further ado, let's crack on and get into it, shall we? Now we add some grease. Alright guys, just need to interrupt real quick here. Those two halves of the differential need to be put together, but because I got grease all over my fingers and they're slippery little things anyway, and my fingers aren't the greatest at the best of times, so it was a lot of fiddle fapping about, so I'll cut through that and get to the end of that business. No one wants to see that crap. Well, I don't anyway. Alright guys, front differential is now completely built and all greased up and ready to be inserted in its gearbox. Alrighty, before we assemble the front gearbox and put the diff in it, we just need to do a little bit of prep on that gearbox. Let's get into it. Front portion of gearbox done, including the repair that I did on it earlier in the previous video. If you want to see that, up in the top corner now, boom. Rear portion, I should say, of the front gearbox, but I need to do a little bit of repair work on this first before putting it back in. There is a slight bit of damage there that I'm just going to fix up a little bit, clean up, and just a little bit of messiness there that I'm just going to clean up as well. For that job I will again use my hobby knife, file if needed, clippers again, and trusty sanding stick again. Let's crack on. Alright guys, first up I'm just going to get rid of this little piece here. Yep, there we go. I've just sort of made that area a little bit flat instead of curved, because this is where the drive belt inserts into there, and I don't want any area where it can rub. So I will now just grab file . Don't want to go too far though, because I want to make sure there's still a good lip there for the drive belt to sit in. Give that a bit of a clean. Alright, so now we just give this little bit here that looks like just slight amount of damage. Right, hit it real quick with the sander. That looks a lot better. Alright, so that part is now sorted and we are ready to put the diff in the gearbox, but in order to do that we need to actually insert the drive belt as well, because the drive belt actually goes onto the gearbox before it goes into the car. So drive belt, and basically what we do is we just give that a bit of a cinch and then turn it around like that and insert it like so into the thing. So that's goes towards the back, so that side needs to be less, and then we bring this in, pull into that half of the gearbox with the drive belt in place like that, and then front half of it, just making sure that that's the right way up. I think it is. I have, looks like it because it's going on, so yep, there we go, and that seems to be working okay. So there we go guys, and I'm just looking to make sure it's all good, and there are 2 screws that hold it together at the front here, there and there. I will do those now off camera and it's all sorted. Alright guys, after a quick look at the instructions I realised that I need to attach the front shock tower to the front gearbox before putting the screws in, so I will do that first and then we'll get back. Alright guys, that's all screwed together now. The front shock tower is attached to the front gearbox and everything seems to be running nice and smoothly. Next step is to bring this big boy back in again and attach the front diff back up to it again, and we are getting there guys. It's getting a bit exciting. I'm getting a lot closer to being able to run this car again. Yeah. Alright guys, I've now got the belt attached to the rear gearbox. It was a little bit of finagling to get it on, but it is on, and of course the belt is quite loose like it usually always is. There's a lot of loose beltage on these cheaper versions of the car, but okay, now I'll just attach the cover to that and make sure it's all wrapped up and it won't slide out again, and we're all good to go. We'll get that done now. Alright guys, that is done now. The cover on the outside of the rear gearbox is now fully installed. Front gearbox is fully installed, and we can do a small bit of a drive test just to see how it goes. Don't know if you can see that, but everything is running nice and smoothly. So we are a goer. So I think I will leave it there with this video because I don't want these ones to be too long. It'll mean there's more of them. Leave down in the comments what you prefer, short ones with more or just a couple of longer ones, because I'm trying to feel out this process of getting these build logs and getting them so they're entertaining enough to watch and not too boring. So let me know what you guys reckon in the comments. We're doing well. getting there. Alright guys, that's about it for this one. Drivetrain now all fully assembled and running nicely, so I'm really happy with that. Next step will be to put the front and rear swing arms on. That'll be in the next video, and then in another video I'll tackle the shock issue, because that's a whole story in and of itself. So hope you're enjoying it so far and they're not too long. Leave a comment in the comment section what you think so far of these builds. Not too sure myself. I hope it's going alright. Anyway, if you're new to the channel, please consider like, sharing and subscribing. Smashing on the bell so you don't miss any more of my other content in the future. It's gonna be good. Speed runs, builds, restos, all sorts of stuff. So be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of that. Anyway guys, time to go. So, Matt at RC Chronicles, signing off. Catch you guys.